Hello little unicorns, welcome back to a lesson about writing the equations of circles. Now before we get into this, we really just want to review what we do know before we get into how to write the equation of a circle. And what you do know is how to write the equation of, let's say, a line. To write the equation of a line, it's just y equals mx plus b. You guys remember this guy? Where m is the slope, b is the y-intercept, and if you put that into a calculator, you get a straight line like that. The other thing you might remember is how to write the equation of a parabola. Not sure if you do, but that's y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Miss Shiny taught you this last year, and that gives you a parabola. And finally, how do you write the equation of a circle with that shape? And well, there's a few things you have to identify. But first, let's look at the general equation. The general equation is just this: x minus h, that's one variable we need to know, y minus k, what does that even mean? I will tell you, equals the radius squared, or just r squared. So to write the general equation, you just have to know what hk and r is. Now, what is hk? hk is your center. It's the point of this center point. So if I know the coordinate here is my x is h, my y, my height is k, that is all I'm going to put in here. That just gives me the center. And the r is the radius, and that's just this part right here. So how do I write my general equation? Well, to write your general equation, you just have to do 4 steps. 1, identify hk and r. 2, write down that general equation. 3, plug in those values for hk and r. And 4, square the radius and change any double negatives. What do I mean by that? Let's take a look. We want to write the equation of a circle, we'll call it circle J, with a center of 2, 2 and a radius of 4. Now remember, this first number of our circle, this first one right here, if we have hk like this, our h is going to be 2, our k is also going to be 2, and our radius is going to be 4. Step 1, done. Step 2, let's write out the general equation. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And now step 3, now we've got this written out, is just plug in the values. So our h is equal to 2, our k is equal to 2 as well, and our r is equal to 4. So now that we plugged in our values, we're almost done. The final step is to just square this. If we can square this, let's square it. So we know 4 squared is 16. So our general equation is just this: x minus 2 squared, that's all the same, y minus 2 squared, and that is it. So this would give you the equation of a circle where its center is 2, 2 and a radius of 4. That's 4 squared. And it's just that simple. All right, let's take a look at another example, okay? What happened over here? Okay, so let's take a look at another example. We want to write the equation of a circle with, we'll call it circle P, with a center of 0, -3, and a radius of 8. Well, we just have to identify hk and r. That's our first step. Now remember, this right here is our h, because our coordinate goes like this. Our center is always hk. Okay? So our h value is 0. Our k value is -3. And our radius is 8. Step 1, done. Step 2, write out the general formula. Boom, did it for you. You're welcome. Step 3, plug in the values. So let's look at this. So this is going to be x minus 0 squared plus y minus, now be careful here, this says -3, so it's y minus -3 squared equals 8 squared. Now we're almost done. We plugged in our values, okay? The third thing is to square the radius, so we're going to square this and change any double negatives to a positive. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look. Well, x minus 0, anything minus 0 is just itself. So we could just call this x squared. Now y minus negative 3, that's a double negative. What does that become? That's right. That becomes a positive, so that's y plus 3. And that equals to 8 squared, which is 64. So if you notice something, if this is a negative 3, when we put it in here, it becomes a positive because a double negative is a positive. And this would be your general equation for a circle with a center of 0, negative 3, and a radius of 8. All right, let's take a look at this guy. We want to write the equation of a circle P with a center of 0, 0, and a radius of 2. Now, let's look at this. This is a little interesting. The center is at 0, 0. So if you were to look at that on a graph, this is your xy coordinate, your center is right here. And has a radius of 2, so it goes 2 in every direction. So that's what it would look like, right? What we call this point in the center is called the origin, okay? You might see that word up, but 0, 0 is the same thing as origin, okay? So whenever you see the word origin, you know that means 0, 0. Okay, so let's identify. So this is our H, this is our K, this is our R, and now we just do it. So our H is 0, our K is 0, and our R is 2. Let's plug into our formula. It is going to be x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 2 squared. All right, we plugged in our values, okay? Finally, what do we have to do? We got to simplify this guy a little bit. So x minus 0, well, that's going to be the same thing as x because anything minus 0 is itself. So this becomes x squared. Y minus 0, same thing, just y squared equals 2 squared, and that is equal to, no, it is not 2. Nice try. It is equal to, yeah, that's right. You guys already had this way before me, 4. And that would be the equation of a circle with a center at the origin and a radius of 2. All right, this will be our last problem. We want to write the equation of a circle, we'll call it P again, with a center at 3, negative 2, and a radius of 7. Just to draw you a rough sketch of that, it would be x negative 3, y negative 2, and a radius of 7. So that would be like, 7 away. So it would be something like this right here. All right? So what we do? Well, we identify h and k. So that's our h, that's our k. So our h is negative 3. Our k is negative 2. And our radius is 7. What we do is we plug into our formula. So it's going to be x minus negative 3. Remember, you got to mind those negatives. Squared plus y minus negative 2 squared equals 7 squared. We plugged everything in. Now we got to simplify a bit. So these double negatives, don't forget, they become positives. So this would be x plus 3 squared plus y double negative again plus 2 squared equals 49. And this is your equation of a circle with a center negative 3, negative 2, and a radius of 7. All right, guys, remember, drink lots of water in the summer because you might get dehydrated, and always, always think of your dreams and reach for them every day. Have a good day.